Two Bear Air, we started this as we saw a need in the search and rescue of this area, being lacking in aviation. And what really made it evident is when the aviation resources were called in, would be the last thing called in because of money reasons or availability, because there really wasn't a lot. The program is fully funded by a private individual here in the valley, Michael Gogan.
We wouldn't be able to do it without the generous support of Mike Gogan.
When we approached him about this program, he was very passionate about it and said he would love to be a part of it. And through talks later, came back and he said, okay, I will fund the program, I will buy the helicopter, we need to make it first class. And the only thing I ask is that we make sure that we save lives. If it saves one life, he said, it's all worth it.
It's about saving a life. I mean, there's not really a price tag to put on it.
Moving fast forward from there, we've made this into a foundation, a private foundation, and we don't receive any money from anybody, donations or otherwise, besides Mike. And that, as far as search and rescue programs across the nations, one of the big keys in decision making is budgets. And we're kind of blessed to be able to stay ahead of the curve, keep the equipment that we need, the state-of-the-art technology, the new testing of new products coming out, things like that, it's the concern is saving the lives, not where we're going to get the money, or we can't do it based on we don't have the money, which is really an awesome thing for programs.
Of course, on the county sides of things, we support where we can, of course, with manpower and being able to provide some people some excellent training and then putting them on the aircraft. And then the other portion is just interaction, the dispatching of it, and then essentially operations of how it's paged out.
Our team is made up of volunteers, some volunteers from the Sheriff Department and some paid staff. Originally we were all volunteer staff, and we now consist of 11 rear crew members and 3 pilots for the flight crew, and then we have a director of maintenance. The aircraft behind me is a Bell 429. We chose that aircraft when they were pretty new to the market, but we're very glad we have, and we're going to order another one this year. It's very capable. That's one of the reasons. It's twin engine, fast. We cover such a large area that we need the speed to get there in a reasonable amount of time.
Flathead County is 5,000 square miles. It's massive. A lot of it's wilderness areas, remote access, and a lot of the aircraft conversations, of course, come up as when we're talking about it, is we serve Glacier National Park, we serve just in our community, a huge amounts of national forest.
The coverage area is basically 3 hours. Anything that's within 3 hours, we'll be able to get there and usually have about a half hour on scene for fuel. But that usually equates to about 350 nautical miles, 320 nautical miles. I tend to say that if it wasn't for the things we have on it, it's just a cool helicopter, but we have some neat features on it, which is the MX-10. It has the IR, and it has laser designator and a few things like that that are unique. We have the hoist, the capability on the side of the helicopter that'll go 280 feet of cable, so we can get into the cliffs and get some of that. We've got searchlight. As a crew, we're all MVG capable, so we do a lot of night work. We love night, and that was the other thing that's, in the past people are going, well, it's, getting dark and your resources would pull off and wait till morning, and we're just the opposite with the equipment we have. The NVGs make it so much easier to find somebody if they have a light source of any type. We've found a gentleman up north, a hunter, in the middle of the night, didn't know where he was at. We didn't know where he was at. He kind of had a location. We ended up on scene and we seen a flash, these little flashes. but they would go out. We found him, brought him in, asked him, what kind of light he was using, and he was flicking his lighter, and it wouldn't light. And we saw that from over 2 miles away. So night vision is awesome for us. The IR portion of it, temperatures drop at night. It makes very simple. We've had issues where we found a gentleman down in Livingston sitting on the ground under a tree, and there was things moving around him, and we couldn't figure out what they were until we zoomed in, and they're mice. And we were 2 miles away, a mile and a half away. So I mean, it's our nighttime capabilities are awesome. The Reco aerial receiver that we have here was donated from Reco. We were the first one in the United States or North America to get one. Since receiving it, we have used it a few times. There was an avalanche in Silverwood, over in the Idaho, Washington area there, and a person was buried and hadn't been found for a couple days, and we used that to locate them rather quickly. It's such a great tool now that they're using it to find not only, originally it was for snow victims and things like that, but now they're actually doing it in summer clothing, which is very exciting to us because the tool can be used in a lot of the high rock cliffy areas where the climbers are using the gear that are equipped with Reco reflectors. It's a passive unit. It's very easy for us to deploy. We're using it as a tool, hopefully just like any other tool, that's just one of options that we have that may save somebody's life. When we get a call from another agency, it's through the sheriff department of that county. So we work under the jurisdiction of the county sheriff wherever we go. Our coverage area for the sheriff department is most of Idaho, Montana, and in eastern Washington so far. But we need those relationships because they are in charge, and we're basically, when we get on scene, we try to tell people we're here to help. We are not taking over the situation for you.
It is a combined effort from everybody. So when you're talking about interagency resources, Two Bear is one of those resources that comes in, so alert can come in, you have your search and rescue ground volunteers, you have sheriff's deputies, you have a whole entire unit that's essentially helping to find and locate somebody during their time of need.
On search and rescue missions especially, there's one thing that's a lot of people, that's a misnomer, that people think that the helicopter shows up and that's, they're the saviors of the day. But without search and rescue, the personnel on the ground, we can't do our job.
And then the teamwork here is huge in that, we have law enforcement that works together on a daily basis. We have crew members here. We have pilots that, we're a team. And that's where it's enjoyable to come in here and do these options.
What I see for Two Bear's future, of course, is maintaining exactly what we're doing, making sure that we're always on the cutting edge of technology, using the best equipment, keeping the people trained as best as possible. We always thought that if anybody else could do this, we will come alongside of them and help somebody else stand up the exact same program and help them make sure that it's very simple for them to get through any of the hurdles that we had in our experience. But we always thought, we'll know we really made it when somebody else does exactly what we're doing.
Connected, are they ready for pickup? Line sectioning, prepare to take. Easy left one, and